What up, JP Nation? It's your boy JP. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to my channel where we do basketball reaction videos and basketball content. If you love the game of basketball like I do, make sure you subscribe to ItzJustJP down below. Click the notification bell. You know where our next upload is. On the road to 40K. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Today we are reacting to how good was Wilt Chamberlain actually. This is going to be my Wilt Chamberlain series. Definitely one of the greatest players of all time. Broke all types of records when he retired from the NBA. Records that still stand to this day. Battles with Bill Russell in the 60s. Winning championship with the 76ers. And the Lakers too as well. If you haven't seen Goliath, please check that out. That's a fantastic documentary. So Nonstop is shout out to them, man. They make some really good content though. So I don't want to keep y'all waiting, man, because I'm excited to watch this video. Make sure you rack up the likes too as well. Definitely give your thoughts on Wilt Chamberlain down below, how great he was. To let the young youngsters know how great he was as a player, why he's in the top 10 players of all time, that a lot of people be putting him in. Please tell the young audience how great Wilt Chamberlain was. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
Wilt Chamberlain is often considered the most dominant force that played the game of basketball and one of the greatest players of all time. We already have the top 10 amazing facts on Chamberlain on this channel. And in this video, we'll try to further debunk the myth that is Wilt the Stilt. We'll try to answer the question of how dominant he really was, why he only won 2 championships, and why he didn't really like to dunk. So stay tuned.
Shout out Nonstop Sports.
Most versatile athlete ever. Wilt Chamberlain was the strongest NBA player ever, and numerous stories confirm this. Arnold Schwarzenegger once said that Wilt could lift him up like he was nothing. And multiple 240-pound NBA players said the same thing. Chamberlain was an undefeated shot putter in college, and his record bench press was 550 pounds. At the age of 59, Wilt was still benching 465, more than some bodybuilders in their prime. Other than strength, Wilt was also extremely fast and agile. He could run a 40-yard dash in 4.6 seconds, and his personal best at 100 meters was 10.9, which is mesmerizing for a guy that is 7'1".
Damn. Brother was an athlete, bro. Like, Wilt was an athlete. Like, just the strength. I mean, I heard Arnold Schwarzenegger talking about how strong he was. Like he said that he would and Arnold was like everything in bodybuilding back in the day, in the 70s, 80s. He was everything in bodybuilding. And then for him to say Wilt Chamberlain was so much stronger than him that he could pick him up with one hand, that just tells you just how strong he was. And then him just jumping, just his vertical was unbelievable. How quick he was too as well. You could just look at him, you know, when he plays basketball, how quick he was, how strong he was, how much he put feel in everybody, including the centers too as well. Just wow.
Allegedly, at a Hollywood party, NFL Hall of Fame running back Jim Brown raced Wilt on a dare, and Wilt won.
Wow.
Brown, who was still in his prime, demanded a rematch, but Wilt beat him again. Wilt was also extremely athletic, with a vertical leap of over 40 inches, with some reports saying it was even 48 inches.
Damn.
Which would qualify for the highest NBA vertical ever. And he was doing that in Chuck Taylors, which makes it even more impressive. With crazy strength, speed, and jumping ability, it's safe to say Wilt was the best athlete ever. LeBron's and Usain Bolt's of the world would give him a run for his money, but neither of them could match his strength. The best shot block.
Now, they never talk about the greatest athletes of all time. You would have to put Wilt Chamberlain up there as one of the greatest athletes. I don't care how tall he was. You just listen back at like how freakish of an athlete he was, but you never hear anybody talk about it. It'd be like MJ, LeBron, Usain Bolt. You know, I'm probably forgetting other people, but like they just don't talk about Wilt Chamberlain because everybody was just like, it's like a myth. Like there's no way he did. There was no way he done that. Like, it's just speculation. But he was a freak. But nobody don't talk about how great he was as an athlete. Like, he needs to be up there as one of the greatest athletes of all time. Like, I mean, just look at what he done. Look at what he done.
Ever. When there is any talk about Wilt, people usually start with 100 points in a game and 50 points per season.
Facts.
His offense made him famous, and it sold tickets in newspapers. But what is rarely discussed is Chamberlain's defense. While he probably was the best defender in the league, and yes, that also includes Bill Russell. Wilt and Russell were the premier shot blockers in the league.
Facts.
It didn't count shot blocking. But if it did, Hakeem Olajuwon wouldn't be the NBA all-time leader in blocked shots.
Facts.
When Walter Bellamy first came to the NBA, he had one of the best rookie years ever, averaging 31.6 points per game.
Great player.
To this day, Bellamy's scoring is the best ever by an NBA rookie, behind only Wilt Chamberlain, of course. He averaged 37.6 in his inaugural season. The first time Bellamy played Wilt, they both met at half court, and Walter introduced himself. "Hello, Mr. Chamberlain. I'm Walter Bellamy." Wilt then replied with, "Hello, Walter. You won't get a shot off in the first half." Wilt blocked Bellamy 9 times in a row in the first half.
Damn.
When the second half began, Wilt walked over to Bellamy and said, "Okay, Walter, now you can play." He did a very similar thing to Magic Johnson in 1980. At UCLA campus, Magic would play pickup with various college and NBA players in the offseason. Wilt showed up and got in the game. After Magic called a non-existent foul, a 43-year-old Chamberlain got mad. There will be no more layups in this gym, and he blocked every one of Magic's shot after that and ran him out of the gym. Wilt is also the only guy to block Kareem's skyhook, the most unguardable move in history. Wilt played against himself, and then everyone else. Wilt's mother emphasized to him that he is different because of his size, that he's going to be stared at, and that he must use it in a good way, and always be well-mannered and kind. So, Wilt grew up an extremely good-natured guy, and on the basketball court, he received a lot more punishment and knocks in the paint that he would give away. He knew that he could beat everybody up, but he refused to do so. Former NBA player and coach Jack McMahon said it best. "The best thing that ever happened to the NBA is that God made Wilt a nice man. He could have killed us all with that left hand."
Facts.
This behavior was reflected in the way he played the game as well. Wilt was the biggest, strongest, and most athletic player in his era. He could have easily dominated the game with his physical prowess alone. But unlike Olivia Newton-John, Wilt didn't want to get physical, at least not all the time. "Nobody loves Goliath," Wilt said to Sports Illustrated, explaining that he wanted to show the world he's a skillful player, not just a brute force. He also admitted that him playing a finesse game and trying to be a versatile scorer actually hurt his career. "What hurt me was that I wanted to be a consummate basketball player, and I wanted to be able to shoot the ball instead of just taking it to the basket and dunk it as I should have. I had great satisfaction shooting fadeaway shots, hook shots, finger rolls, and a lot of times
Just show you how skillful he was.
More than a positive. If I just went out and took it to the basket every time, I'd have averaged 70 or 80 points a game." Things that were extraordinary.
I agree with that. I mean, I don't know about the 70, 80 points a game. I mean, that is very possible he could, but it's like, when you're like really the tallest thing out there and you're that skilled with sets and all that, like, you don't want to like go and like dominate and play bully ball and all that and get physical with like the other players. You want to show that you can really play. You can show that you can shoot. You can show that you want to hit a hook shot. You want to show them that you got a jump hook. You want to show them all types of different skill sets to play a finesse game. Could you imagine Wilt Chamberlain didn't have a finesse game and he just played straight up like what Shaq did, in his prime, especially with the Lakers? Like if Wilt had that Shaq killer instinct, which I know Wilt had a killer instinct, but if he had Shaq's killer instinct and just goes out there and kills everybody, like, I mean, oh my God, you talking about like how many points he would average? I mean, he's still dominating. He's probably still more dominant than Shaq, but I mean, could you just imagine just the tell like that he would have had if you did decide to play physical? My God. But I mean, he played nice though, but he still broke all of them freaking records, and he was still fucking unbelievable. Nobody still haven't even touched 100 points. Nobody still haven't touched 50 points a game. Nobody has. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Were just ordinary for Wilt. And if we look at Wilt's stats, there is a huge discrepancy from the first half of his career, when he shot more than 30 times per game, and the second half, when he averaged only 13 field goal attempts per contest. Wilt was his own man, not really bothered too much by everyone else, and if he set his mind to do something, he would do it. So, after the 65-66 season, Wilt decided not to score as much. After he averaged 40 in his first 7 seasons, he wanted to prove that he can also pass, and became the league leader in assists, and is still the only center with this achievement. Can you imagine Michael Jordan saying one day, "Okay, fellas, I'm not scoring anymore. From now on, I'll only pass"? Everybody would think Mike had gone mad. After Wilt decided to pass the ball more, the press wrote a story that he couldn't score anymore. So naturally, in the next 3 games, the Big Dipper had 62, 55, and 48 points just to prove them wrong. Wilt was as potent as ever, and the athletic freak that he was, he could have averaged over 30 for every year of his career. He just got tired of it. Watching Wilt, you always kind of got the idea he was just playing with people, that he was on cruise control, and still 10 times better than anybody else that was playing at that time,
great player.
said Dan Issel, a former NBA player and coach. 2 very different men, both larger than life, and forever linked in history.
First big rivalry.
Any conversation about Wilt almost always involves Bill Russell, and vice versa.
Magic
They were the
Larry.
2 best players of their time, and their careers will forever be intertwined. With his physical ability, statistical achievements, and pure dominance over everybody else, Wilt would likely be considered the best player ever. However, he's not even considered the best player of his time. And for a casual fan, he's just a guy with good numbers, while Russell was the winner. And the truth is, somewhere in the middle. In 94 regular season meetings, Russell won 57 to Chamberlain's 37. In 49 playoff games, Russell came away victorious 29 times to Chamberlain's 20. Between the years 1960 and 1969, Wilt's teams were faced against Russell's Celtics 8 times in the playoffs, with 4 of those going to the deciding Game 7. Russell won all 4, but the total point differential was just 9 points in all Game 7s combined. So, a couple of bounces the other way, and the rings narrative could have been different. Also, Russell had the best coach in the game and better teammates. However, that was also by design. Russell wasn't the physical freak like Chamberlain, and was not a highly touted player. Bill quickly realized that for success, he needs the whole team around him to be great. Russ wasn't as good a scorer as Wilt was, and even though he was capable, his intention wasn't to score himself. He always wanted to get the rest of the guys involved. He was the passer at his position, but unlike Wilt, he wasn't trying to lead the league in assists to prove it. Russell wasn't a better individual player than Wilt. It was the other way around. If they played one-on-one, Wilt would always come up on top. In their 94 regular season games, Wilt averaged 30 points and 28 rebounds to Russell's 14 and 23. In the playoffs, it was similar. Wilt had 25.7 and 28, while Bill averaged 15 and 24.7 boards. But Russell was a superior leader and didn't care about the numbers and what others might think of him. And there lies the secret. Russell's game was constructed around team basketball. And because basketball is a team sport, the result in championships is 11-2. Even though some of the series were really close and could have gone the other way, Wilt would have been better off in an individual sport, and he understood that too. Sometimes the mere power of you makes you more the individual player. Russell was more complete and was able to help his team win more than I did. Wilt Chamberlain on the Boston Celtics would not have been the same. I would take away from Bob Cousy and Tom Heinsohn because I was a scorer too. So sometimes less is better. Wilt said about the eternal question of who is better between the two. Wilt was the Renaissance man. Wilt Wilt Chamberlain was
Larger
a
than
guy
life.
larger than life who lived life to the fullest. He was interested in everything and wanted to experience everything. He had a big heart, but was also a huge loner. And if you understand who he was as a person, that gives you a better understanding of who he was as a player. He achieved the biggest scoring feat in NBA history, and then decided it was time to start passing, and became the best passer in the league. He could have dunked everything, but wanted to become a versatile scorer. He still holds the record for the highest field goal percentage ever. He slept with one woman, only to start flirting with the next one. After he retired from basketball, he became the best volleyball player.
Yes.
And that's who Wilt really was. Never satisfied, always exploring and moving to the next thing. If he wanted to, he could have settled down. If he wanted to, he could have dunked every ball and won more championships. But that would have been boring. That would have been too physical, and he wouldn't have explored everything he could do. And that explains Chamberlain as a player. He was a Goliath who didn't want to be just the Goliath, because it's not as challenging, and nobody likes those guys anyway.
And that was the end of the video. Great video by Nonstop Sports. Yeah, Wilt Chamberlain, I mean, like I said earlier, if he decided to want to play bully ball and wanted to get physical, who knows how further he would be scoring them points though. But he was so finesse, he was so skilled, so athletic, played both sides of the ball. Yeah, I mean, like the whole Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain matchup, like, I mean, there were close scores, like in the finals, some going to game 7. Like, it was really close. Like, imagine some of it goes to Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain could have had more than 2 championships. Like, his legacy would have been a lot more different than what it was. You know, a lot of people saying, oh, he just didn't win enough because he wasn't a team player. He was selfish. He was stat padding his stats and all that. You know, he led the league in assists 1 year because people said, oh, well, he doesn't really pass much. And he goes out. Like, he just seems like he was just always trying to go after the media. Like, if the media say something, he's going to prove the media wrong. But yeah, Bill Russell had a much better team, higher IQ than Chamberlain, just because he knows how to win. But it doesn't take the fact that Bill Russell is the better player. You know, if they play one-on-one, Bill Russell probably wouldn't stand a chance against Wilt, but Bill had a much better team, and that's why he had them championships. Like, he cared about winning. But yeah, that was a great video. It just shows you how athletic he was, how strong he was, how finesse he was as a scorer. That was funny about the Magic Johnson one, because we hear Magic Johnson stories. Everybody gets so mad when Magic be calling like the most stupidest foul that it just didn't really. It's just like, why would you call it? But when you piss off Wilt Chamberlain like that and he blocking your shots each time, you might as well just leave the gym. You might as well leave the gym. Like, after retirement, he was still so active. He's playing volleyball. He playing pickup basketball, and he's still dominating. So, man, and you know, as always, the argument between Shaq and Wilt, who is more dominant, you know, one or the other. People say Wilt, people say Shaq. It depends on your preference. Depends on your preference, your type of the definition of domination. So, but yeah, that was a great video. Definitely comment down below and let me know about, you know, how great was Wilt Chamberlain. Definitely let me know what other Wilt Chamberlain videos you want me to react to. Make sure you subscribe to ItzJP down below and click the notification bell. You know where our next upload is, on the road to 40K. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm JP. We out of here. Peace.